What's going on, everyone? Happy Friday to everyone. It's a holiday weekend coming up. You've made it through another week, and let's talk about the holiday weekend forecast with the Friday edition of the Climate Update. And boy, has it been a busy last 24 hours since we last saw you. A large-scale MCS, matter of fact, we'll call a derecho, went through portions of the Ohio Valley and portions of Kentucky. It left numerous storm reports, and unfortunately, the active times are going to continue. You can see there are ongoing storms this morning across portions of Kentucky and portions of Tennessee. We also have more storms back across the plains. On the west coast this morning, you're waking up to a relatively quiet morning. The northeast, there is some cloud cover. Southeast this morning is relatively quiet. Taking a look at the air quality situation. Remember we were talking about the wildfire smoke yesterday? And those issues do continue, though be it they're not as intense as yesterday. But you can see there are still some bad air quality readings to be found that are over 100. You may find a couple stations that are still reporting over 200. It has improved somewhat. It has improved somewhat in the Great Lakes as well, but it's going to get hung up in the Northeast. There's going to be moderate to near red air quality issues, at least for another day or two. Beyond that, it remains relatively questionable at this time. Moving on, let's take a look at the national hazards maps for today. And you can see there are still air quality alerts across the Great Lakes and portions of the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast. There's still excessive heat advisories and excessive heat warnings in the south and now on the west coast as well, where it is going to be downright hot. Taking a look here at the latest radar, and you can see here there are some showers that are ongoing over portions of like Toronto, Canada this morning. Some of that will move into the northeast this afternoon. We do have some showers and thunderstorms just east of the Nashville area. Knoxville, you're getting some showers this morning. Greensboro, North Carolina, some showers for you. And you're going to see some more activity later on today. We are watching this cluster that is ongoing right now in northern Missouri and portions of Iowa. Could that develop into another MCS this afternoon? It's possible that we do see more MCS activity today. Speaking of MCS, let's take a look at yesterday. Yesterday was so intense. Gotta move myself to the right because I want you to see these reports. One tornado report, 489 wind reports, 27 of them being really high wind reports, 65 hail reports, 3 of them being extra large, I guess you want to call it, and total 555 reports. And look at this, right over Illinois, Indiana just got pounded with severe thunderstorms yesterday. Someone I know who works for Weather Service was issuing warnings for 10 hours in a row yesterday. So that is just intense, severe weather. Moving on, taking a look at the next couple days, we have multiple severe weather threat days. As of right now, today is a slight risk day, and that does extend from portions of Texas on north through Nebraska, portions of Kansas, on southeast into Tennessee, and northern Georgia and Alabama. You can see they have the outlook shaped like the top of like a banana because it's going over the top of the ridge. It's that track that I was telling you about yesterday. There are 2% tornado chances within these risk areas. We're not terribly concerned about tornadoes. 15% wind potential on top of this. If it was to get upgraded for anything, it would be wind. And there is also hail potential with this as well. And there is a hatched area for hail today in Colorado and the Panhandle, or the western portion of Oklahoma. Taking a look at day 2. This one has our attention a little bit more. We've been saying this. I said it yesterday. There's an enhanced risk area for portions of Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, and portions of Missouri. Then we take a look here at tornado potential for tomorrow. There's a 2% tornado potential. And then there's 30% for wind tomorrow. And that's the biggest threat with the MCS potential for tomorrow is going to be wind. And there's a large 15% area. There is also a 15% area for hail as well. Then we have yet another threat on day 3 that extends from Illinois through to the Mid-Atlantic, and that could potentially have an upgrade to an enhanced risk as well, as The setup is looking relatively impressive, and there's even a day 4 setup at this time for the upper Midwest, I guess we'll say, coming from the Dakotas on into Minnesota. All right, taking a look at the WPC, there is a slight risk of excessive rainfall today for portions of Kansas and Nebraska, and you have a marginal risk around that. And you also have a marginal risk that extends from Virginia into Pennsylvania, so places like Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. You're going to see potential for some flash flooding today. Taking a look here at day 2, there's a large slight risk going from Nebraska and northeast Kansas on through to the Ohio Valley with a large marginal risk that does extend into the Northeast. Yes, unfortunately, it's going to be unsettled this holiday weekend in the Northeast. Day 3, which would be Sunday, yes, large marginal risk again. It's going to be unsettled. We're talking about an upper level system and a front. The upper level system is going to ride along a slow moving frontal boundary, and that is going to generate problems for New England. Let's take a look at the tropical weather. Tropics, not too active right now. We just have this disturbance still, which is a 10% chance of forming. We're not concerned about it. I mean, take a look at the picture here. It is extremely disorganized. You can also see, again, these convective systems across the United States. Relatively impressive. Taking a look here at the latest HRRR model, which is just coming as 12Z run. And you can see, there's that energy that goes over Illinois, and that one kind of dies out. But look what gets going behind it. You have these clusters of storms. Maybe a potential mesoscale convective system gets going today. Tough to say. One of the factors yesterday that made yesterday so strong, when you have wildfire smoke in the atmosphere, it does add an extra layer of energy for these storms, and that added fuel to the fire yesterday, and the storms just went bonkers. So while some of that's still around today, models don't always pick up on that. So it's possible this does form into a mesoscale convective system for today. Let's take a look at the latest RGEM model, and will help guide us through at least the weekend portion of this holiday, Saturday today through Sunday. And we want to see here what it does with that potential convective activity over the Ohio Valley today. You can see today it's not all that impressive. You do have some activity that gets going back across the Central Plains, and that activity does try and form overnight an MCS that would continue Saturday through just south of Chicago through the Ohio Valley. And you can see that's one MCS. There's another one that tries to get going tomorrow evening with that upper level low. I don't even know that that's going to be an MCS tomorrow. It's just mainly probably going to be clusters of thunderstorms ahead of it. But you can see one thing does happen here. Look at upstate New York. A lot of people are going to be going there this weekend. Adirondacks to Catskills. Unfortunately, you're looking at showers and thunderstorms tomorrow in the afternoon. And the better chance for the Northeast is going to come on Sunday, and the Mid-Atlantic as well. The rest of the country, Saturday and Sunday, like the West Coast, quiet for you. Maybe some pop-up showers and thunderstorms down in Florida. And take a look at this. Yes, we have more shower and thunderstorm activity in the afternoon on Sunday in the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic. There could be some severe weather, possibly. Philadelphia, Baltimore, Washington. Maybe New York. We'll just have to see where the warm front sets up with this. But look at this. This shower activity continues throughout the majority of the weekend, with the wettest portion of the weekend in the Northeast being Sunday. And taking a look at the Southeast, you will have some showers and thunderstorm activity across portions of the plains, and again across portions of Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina. Sunday is not a great day on the east, but it's also not a washout in the Southeast. But just be mindful, there'll be the pop-up showers and thunderstorms activity in the afternoon on Sunday, and again on Monday afternoon. And this upper level system, yeah, it's still here in the Northeast on Monday. Hopefully we can clear it out on 4th of July. I'm not going to bet on it, though, because it's a possibility that it does hang around a little bit more. Here's the GFS. Let's take a little bit of the longer range. As you can see, shower and thunderstorm activity in the Northeast. Shower activity continues in the South. We have another system that does come as early as Tuesday from the Northwest, and here's Tuesday itself. GFS still has, generally north of Connecticut and Rhode Island, and north of Albany, showers and maybe isolated thunderstorms. continuing on 4th of July. And we don't really clear that out, at least according to the GFS, until the middle of the week. And look what happens. That next system comes and you get more showers and thunderstorms. And next week, as of right now, we're not seeing any big mesoscale convective system potential. But with this boundary that comes in, you will have showers and thunderstorms that pop along it. And some of them could be strong to severe second half of the week. And you could also have some flash flooding concerns, because look what the GFS does here. It tries to get another upper level system going, which, as you know, these pop-ups can form, these clusters can form, and if they can geo and last long enough in places, it does lead to flash flooding. And we've seen this so many times this year. Now, getting into longer range, you have an upper level system in the upper Midwest that we'll have to watch, but that's 240 hours out. Let's take a look at temperatures. We've had the extreme heat in the south. That's, unfortunately, my friends, is going to continue. Here is the European model, and you can see for today, it is showing, even in the Four Corners region, the southern half of that, it's going to be very hot. Temperatures in 90s to near 100. Heat indexes in any of these regions will be above 100. New Orleans, you're going to be surface temperature. It's probably going to hit 100 today, or very close to it. And again tomorrow on Saturday. Very hot conditions, and that is now expected to continue through the holiday weekend. I mean, you don't even get much relief. Upper 90s, they're just going to continue. And here's 4th of July, folks. 4th of July in the Northeast, relatively slightly below average. You're going to have temperatures in the low to mid 70s. Mid-Atlantic on southward, it's going to be hot. It's going to be humid. And that's what we would expect to see on 4th of July. In the West Coast, it's going to be hot and humid. And Florida, it's summertime in Florida. The heat is there to stay with you, and the humidity as well. As we advance this further, look what starts to happen. Some cooler weather starts to come into the north central region of the United States, and that's from that boundary. And that will make it even further east as we get into late next week, and that could even get into the northeast. But prior to that, even New England, say Wednesday through Friday, temperatures are going to really warm up, and you may have temperatures in the 80s to perhaps even 90 degrees by Friday of next week, according to the European model. And the wild card with this boundary is, does it get far enough south to provide relief for the southern states like Texas? European right now is saying no relief for Texas. As you can see here, we're into next weekend now, and it's still in the hundreds, 90s to 100s in Texas, and the heat index would definitely be over 100. So this is just terribly concerning. Taking a look at the precipitation for the next 1 through 7 days, you can see it's going to be pretty active in some places. You do have these areas where there's going to be showers and thunderstorms along those boundaries. But the key takeaway here is very dry on the west coast. And Florida, you do have one area in southern Florida where they are calling for, the Weather Prediction Center is calling for heavier precipitation amounts. And the northeast, you can just see the unsettled weather. The central region, the Midwest, the unsettled weather continues. 6 to 10 day temperature outlook from the Climate Prediction Center shows we do have above average temperatures expected in the northeast, and I agree with that because you just saw on the European, it's showing near 90-degree weather at the end of next week. Florida above average, Texas above average, slightly below average for portions of California like Los Angeles. You could actually be below average. Pacific Northwest above average, and where that boundary trough comes through in the central region, the central plains, northern plains, below average temperatures are expected. Moving on to the 8 to 14 day temperature outlook, that below average temperature area actually expands, and you're talking near normal in the mid-Atlantic and below average in the plains, slightly above average in the northeast, and above average is just going to continue in the south with a strip that continues through Utah up into the Pacific Northwest, and slightly below average in California. Precipitation amounts above average for a large portion of the country, with the highest axis being in the plains, and below average in places like Arizona, New Mexico, Utah, and even portions of California. Moving on to the 8 to 14 day precipitation outlook, we're looking at above average in the northeast, back through the plains, and slightly below average in Florida, below average in the Four Corners region and California and the Pacific Northwest, at least the coastal areas, near normal precipitation. That does it for today's climate update. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe down below. If you want to share this with your friends, by all means do so. Share this away so more people can help get protected from, potential weather events that could be coming our way or your way. Have a great holiday weekend. We'll have another update again in the near future. Take care, everyone. See you all again next time.